Google Earth lets you explore the world from your screen, but some places are off limits. A blacked out section in Antarctica, an island that disappeared from maps, and a massive pentagram in Kazakhstan. What do they have in common? They were all mysteriously erased. These are hidden places on Google Earth that were suddenly erased. Antarctica is one of the most remote places on Earth, but that hasn't stopped Google Earth users from spotting some strange things on the icy continent. One of the biggest mysteries is a large blacked out region near the South Pole. If you try to zoom in, it's completely censored and no one seems to have a solid explanation for why. But because it's Antarctica and people get pretty creative when it comes to things like this, some believe the area is censored because it could be hiding an entrance to an underground base of some kind, possibly even connected to the rumored Third Reich Antarctic hideouts from World War II. Others think it might be covering up ancient ruins buried beneath the ice, evidence of some long-lost civilization. But the fact is, with so much of the continent unexplored, anything could be hiding under that blacked-out section. If it was just a natural feature, why censor it though? Until someone gets there and proves otherwise, people will just keep speculating about what might be hidden under the ice and why we're not allowed to see it. Imagine an island big enough to be marked on maps for over a century only to be completely erased in modern times. That's what happened with Sandy Island, a landmass that supposedly sat between Australia and New Caledonia. It appeared on maps as early as the 19th century and was even recorded by sailors who claimed to have seen it. But in 2012, when a research team went to find it, they discovered nothing, just open ocean. Google Earth, which had previously shown Sandy Island, suddenly removed it without explanation. The official story is that it was a cartography error, a mistake that somehow persisted for over 100 years, but some people aren't so convinced. Was the island real and deliberately wiped from history? Some believe it may have been used for secret military testing. Others think it was a cover for something even more mysterious. Either way, an entire island disappeared from Google Earth and no one really knows why. If you open Google Earth and zoom in on northern Kazakhstan, you'll find something strange. A massive pentagram carved into the ground. It's found near an abandoned Soviet-era town and measures about 1,200 feet in diameter. For years, conspiracy theorists have debated what it could mean. Some think it's linked to secret occult practices, others believe it might be a remnant of a Cold War military project. Part of what makes this formation so strange isn't just that it's in the shape of, a pentagram, it's that for a time, it was mysteriously blurred on Google Earth, as if someone didn't want people looking at it too closely. Officially, the symbol is just the outline of an old park, designed in a star shape, but that hasn't stopped people from speculating. The pentagram is often associated with mysterious, secretive societies, and given the Soviet Union's history of secrecy, who's to say there isn't more to the story? Greenland might be known for its glaciers, but it's also home to one of the most mysterious disappearances on Google Earth. A US military base, which had been visible for years, was suddenly blurred out. The base in question is believed to be part of a Cold War era operation, possibly even connected to Project Iceworm, an attempt to build a network of nuclear missile launch sites under the ice. While the official story is that the project was abandoned, some believe secret underground facilities still exist. Why else would the location be censored? Some think the base is still active and being used for classified research, possibly even involving advanced technology or extraterrestrial studies. If that sounds far-fetched, well, consider this. Greenland is a strategic location for military operations, and the US still has a presence there. So it's very possible that whatever's happening at that base, someone doesn't want us seeing it. Deep in the Siberian wilderness, there's a location on Google Earth that's been completely blurred out, a massive blacked out area, and nobody knows exactly what's there. Some researchers believe it could be a secret military city, one of the many closed cities that Russia has kept hidden since the Cold War. These cities were used for nuclear research, weapons testing, and other classified operations, and many of them still exist today. Others think it could be a hidden underground facility, possibly even related to Russia's rumored dead hand system, an automated nuclear radiation program. If that's the case, it makes sense why they wouldn't want anyone getting a good look at it. The Russian government has never officially acknowledged what's there, and Google won't say why it's censored, so whatever's in that blacked out zone, it's something they really don't want the world to see. Alright, this one's weird because it's not some top secret military base, it's just a giant radio telescope in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia. The Green Bank Telescope is the largest fully steerable radio telescope in the world, and it's smack in the middle of the National Radio Quiet Zone, a place where Wi-Fi, cell signals, and even regular radios are heavily restricted. It's supposed to be a peaceful place for astronomers to listen to deep space without interference, but here's the thing. On some versions of Google Earth, the site has been blurred or pixelated, which makes no sense. Why would a telescope need to be censored? Well, officially it's because the site is ultra sensitive to electromagnetic waves, so maybe they don't want any interference from satellites. Makes sense, but some people think there may be something more going on here. The telescope is involved in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, scanning the sky for alien signals. If they actually picked up something classified, you can bet the government wouldn't want people digging around. Others believe there's something underground here, maybe a secret intelligence facility, maybe something even stranger. Either way, the fact that Google Earth messes with the imagery of this place only makes it more suspicious. The Faroe Islands are a bunch of rocky islands in the North Atlantic, known for their dramatic cliffs, Viking history, and, well, not much else, to be honest, but for years, parts of these islands were basically scrubbed from Google Earth. Instead of clear satellite images, certain areas were either pixelated, missing, or stuck with super outdated photos that made it look like Google was actively avoiding showing the place. Now, these islands don't have top secret bases or major military installations, at least none that we know about, so why censor them? Well, some people think it may have to do with the undersea internet cables, massive data highways that connect continents. A lot of these cables run through this region, and messing with them could mean messing with global communications, which intelligence agencies would definitely want to keep under wraps. Others think there might be some Cold War era surveillance sites still in use, hidden away in the mountains. Of course, Google could just say, hey, we don't want to update the images, but that excuse doesn't hold up when way less important places get regular updates. Some locals even started questioning whether something was going on right under their noses. Eventually, some better images made their way onto Google Earth, but for a long time, this place was basically a digital blind spot, and when places randomly disappear like that, people are gonna start asking questions. Mururoa Atoll is just a tiny island in the Pacific, but it has a pretty dark history. From the 60s to the 90s, France used it as a nuclear testing site, setting off over 180 explosives, a lot of them underground. These tests caused massive environmental damage, and some say they left the island at risk of literally collapsing into the ocean. People from nearby islands have reported weird illnesses, birth defects, and skyrocketing cancer rates. And here's where things get even stranger. If you look at the place on Google Earth, parts of it look weirdly distorted, washed out, or just flat out unclear. And why is that? Well, one theory is that there's still a secret military base on the island, and France wants to keep it hidden. Another theory is that they just don't want people seeing the long-term destruction caused by the nuclear tests. And then there's the possibility that the atoll is structurally unstable. Some scientists have even warned that if parts of it collapse, it could trigger a massive tsunami. Now, this isn't just exaggeration. Journalists have been blocked from visiting, and there's barely any recent footage of the place. So are they hiding something underground? Is the island more dangerous than they're admitting? Jeannette Island is a tiny frozen chunk of land in the Arctic Ocean, owned by Russia. It's one of those places that barely anyone's set foot on, and on paper, that's not surprising. It's just a giant rock of ice. Except at one point, Jeannette Island completely vanished from Google Earth. Not blurred, not pixelated, it was just completely gone. If you searched for it, all you'd see was open ocean where the island was supposed to be. Why erase an uninhabited piece of ice? That's a very good question. Some think it's because Russia is using it for something secret. The Arctic is a huge deal for military strategy and natural resources, and Russia has been ramping up its presence there. Could they be testing new weapons, running some kind of classified research? Are there hidden structures beneath the ice? Jeannette Island isn't the only one that's mysteriously disappeared from Google Earth. Other small Arctic islands have briefly gone missing from the maps over the years, only to reappear later with no explanation. Was it a glitch, or was something being hidden for a reason? Nobody knows for sure. With all that said, I've been your host James, and I'll catch you, yes you specifically, in the next video.